Hi y'all, it's Kimberly here. Thank you for coming to my channel. It's been a long time since I made a video, but I'm doing this video because I took a DNA test. I've wanted to do this for a long time, and I have a fascination with my ancestry. I've researched it for, I started about 25, around 20 years ago, I guess, and I was always asking my mom, what are we, where did we come from? I always wanted to know when I was a child, and we didn't have DNA tests, and all we had was to go on with just our family history and the stories that my grandmother could tell. And boy, this shocked me. Well, some of it did and some didn't, but I wrote down the breakdown here. I've got it. And the biggest part of me is something I knew nothing about, which is 39% Norwegian, which I've never heard anything in my family history. There's no traditions or anything that has to do with Norway or anything like that. And the next would be 27% Scottish, which I expected that, but I didn't think it was going to be that big. I thought it would be like maybe less than 10%, but I was prepared for that. But the next would be England and Northwestern Europe, 23%, which I knew the English. I've traced back some of my ancestry to about the 1500s in England. And Northwestern Europe, which is such a broad, I really wish they would have broke that down. I just took a basic DNA test from Ancestry DNA, and it was on sale. It was $59. It was regular priced at $99. They usually have them on sale at Christmas, and I think on Mother's Day, and I think maybe one or two other times throughout the year. But I happened to get this one right after it was about a month ago. It only took about 4 weeks for me to get my results back, which I thought was pretty fast. It said between 6 and 8 weeks, I think, but I got them back within 4 weeks, which I think that was really fast, really good. So that Northwestern Europe is maybe, I do have some idea of, there's a possibility of some countries like that would have been in my heritage. But the next one is Wales, 8%, which is, right next to England, so that's no shock at all. And Ireland, 3%, which I thought I was going to show the most percentage of Irish DNA, which shocks me that it's the lowest percent. And my grandmother she did say that we were part Irish, but she didn't say anything about any of these other countries. Which, I'm just shocked about the Norwegians, so shocked. And I love Norway. I saw a National Geographic show about Norway, and it is such a beautiful, amazing, incredible, the people there are so incredible, and I wanted to go there after seeing that. And I wanted to go on a Norwegian cruise, which I hate cruises. I hate them. I'm scared of them. I'm scared of maritime law and all the horror stories I've heard about cruises, and they're really expensive a lot of times, and I don't like them. But I actually researched some of the Norwegian cruises, and I kind of wanted to maybe go there because that country is so beautiful, so amazing. And I was always struck by that. I saw that documentary probably, I don't know, 20 or 30 years ago, and I've always just had this inclination to go there someday. I thought one of the countries, there's several countries that I really wanted to visit, and Norway was one of them. But to find it in my heritage, Viking heritage, shocking to me, very shocking. Which the Northwestern Europe would include Norway, but it also would include Sweden and Finland. And I know this because of I'm not good at geography. I suck at geography. I'm really bad at it. But the way I connect it is I have to have something memorable to connect it to, so that on a map, like if I'm looking at a map, there's some things I can pinpoint real good, and I know exactly what the name of the country is or whatever because of certain things. But in general, just looking at little countries, little edged countries that I have no idea. I'm not good at that. I can't just name them off. Like the U.S., if you're not in the U.S., I'm in the U.S., and our country has, just a large land mass, and we have states that a lot of the ones in the north, I guess in the northern, Midwest, northern area are kind of rectangular or squarish, and some of them are like South Dakota, North Dakota. I might get them backwards, but I can pick out almost every state in the U.S. I think I might get a couple of them like the South of North Dakota or the South North Carolina, maybe mixed up, but I could probably, if I saw a map, I could write every single state down. But other countries across a map, I would have trouble doing that. But I have some ways of remembering that because of the Norway video that I saw. Yeah, I wanted to go to Norway, and then you can just hop over to Sweden. And Finland, I feel sorry for Finland because they border Russia, so I feel it's a very, very particular place they're in. And plus, I did see a documentary about Finland that their population was going down because they were so shy to meet, and for couples to get together, to get a relationship, get married, and have kids, it actually affected their population. Their population started going down because young people were not matching up and getting married and having children. And they're very shy, very quiet, and very just, I just thought they were very decent, very nice people. And I always wanted to go to Finland for that reason. So I know that little northwestern part of, I guess that would be the upper northwestern part of Europe. I think, I'm not sure, because they didn't break it down, and I really wanted them to break this down. I thought it would be more detailed. So I'm a little disappointed about that. But for that northern part, okay. And then the Western Europe, okay. I know all of England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, that little area. I know the Faroe Islands because I would like to watch a lot of documentaries. And I saw a documentary about the Faroe Islands, and it was recently in the past, I don't know, year or two, that there's not enough women on the Faroe Islands to for the men to pick a partner with. And a lot of women were coming from overseas, just different countries, and it was bringing new blood into the country because there's just not enough women on that island. And there's a lot of men that, they're lonely. They want to get married. They want a family. They want, family life. So I know that little thatch of islands is a little bit above, between Iceland and England, the UK. And then you got the Channel Islands, which I don't think there's any inhabitants on that island. Isn't there just sheep on that island? I don't know. I think there might be a caretaker or something like that, but that's just a little patch of islands there. And then straight shot from England is France. And the way I remember it is because of World War II. France being straight across from England. And then beneath France is the lower end of, which would be like the western part of Europe is what they're talking about, which is Portugal and Spain. And then on the other side of France is Germany, of course. And then Poland is way up there on the end. And I remember that from The Sound of Music and history. So in some ways I do know a little bit of geography. So to me, I'm going to try to take another test because I really want to break that down. I really want to know, I just have a great interest in ancestry, and just so disappointed with that 23% not being broke down. But because there's so many countries there, so many countries in that continent there, that a big continent actually, that that 23% could encompass. And I want to say that the eastern part, well, it doesn't say that I have any Eastern European in my ancestry, but that would be like, it excludes, well, Russia would be like the very far east, and then, like I say, right next to Finland, but coming down the more Slavic states, I guess, like Romania, Ukraine, Belarus. The other little ones, I wouldn't know. Oh my gosh, the dust is blowing. It's like getting in my eyes already. I have the windows down because it's kind of warm here. And, oh, we're having it's a really pretty day, but, oh, there's so much dust, and I thought this was going to happen. I didn't take any kind of allergy medication. I thought I could get away with it, but just that disappoints me so much. I hate going on about it, but anyway. So that eastern part, I can, I guess, kind of rule out any kind of, I think Poland, I wasn't sure about Poland, so that would be maybe in the, I'm not sure if that's actually in the northern eastern part, because I know it's up, let me see, I don't really know if Belgium, well, Belgium is right next to France, of course, and then there's a lot of smaller little countries like Croatia, Latvia, I don't know. I really don't know in that little area up along that border between the Slavic and the, Scandinavian, Germanic, I guess. I'm going to say Germanic. I may not be right in saying that, but it wouldn't be Scandinavian type countries, but between the Slavic and Germanic countries, I think there's like a little border that I can put up between that very far eastern part and maybe, like I say, Poland, Germany. I really don't know. It could be broken down a little bit better, I think. So that to me is shocking. But so the northwestern, well, I did some research on the upper northwestern, I think, area, which I looked at several different, they had different lists, so I kind of compiled them all together, which will be, of course, UK and Ireland, Belgium, Netherlands, Luxembourg, Northern France, Germany, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Iceland, Switzerland, Finland, and even Austria. So that's a generalized area of northwestern. And I don't know if there would be any more. I just looked at a few lists and just kind of compiled that down. But I can't get it out of my mind. Norwegian. That's shocking, because I really thought Germany would be a big percentage of my heritage too. But maybe with the northwestern Europe, it's included in that. It might be a small percentage in that. And the test I took was, from Ancestry DNA, as I said. And there's several other tests that you can take. 23andMe, MyHeritage, Tell Me Gen, Gen DNA, Tell Me Gen DNA. And then there's Family Tree DNA, Circle. And I had actually some other, here is CRR Genetics, Living DNA, Helix, Nebula, Genomics, and I think that was about the biggest list that I made of different DNA testing kits you can get. And like I say, they go on sale usually at Christmas time, because a lot of people like to give them for Christmas gifts and Mother's Day, that time period. And I want to say another time between Mother's Day, I can't remember. I think the 4th of July, maybe. I've seen several advertisements for DNA tests, and it was not on Mother's Day or not Christmas. So, because I have wanted to get one for a long time. So you just kind of have to watch for sales if you want, a cheaper discounted price. And the more you research it on the phone, the more you will get offers sent to you, because all the data on your phone is collected, and what you look at, even though some places deny it, it will show up on your phone. So that's how I wanted a discounted DNA test, so I just looked up DNA tests like 10 times in one day, and within a few hours it showed up on my phone. So you can do it that way. Sometimes when you want something, your phone can be your friend. You can research it and research it, and somehow the data will get back to a company, and you can find out or get what you want that way. So that's how I do a lot of times when I want something. I research it on my phone endlessly until something pops up, because your DNA is collected. I mean, every little bite of DNA that you, not DNA, of data that you put out there, it'll be collected and it'll get back to you in some way. Man, my eyes are just, I go through this every time in the spring. I have a dust allergy. I've told this repeatedly. I live in a dust bowl, the worst place you could live for a dust allergy. Sometimes my throat gets a little closed up, and I can feel like my sinuses are getting closed up, and it gets into my eyes. It bothers my eyes. And I woke up really good today and felt really good. It was beautiful out, but then it just, in the past hour, the dust started picking up. And speaking of that, when you have these tests done, you can get it done for your ancestry, to figure out your ancestry, but you can also get it done for health reasons and traits. They do testing at different, at these different DNA testing places that can, some of them do, but not all of them don't. So research that company first if you're looking for a specific trait or health things. Or if you just want to do just your DNA, you can. Ancestry DNA actually has the biggest database of people who are checking for relatives and doing their DNA tests to put up family trees and stuff like that. And I have found out that I have second cousins, third, fourth cousins. I have tons of them. Once you connect on Ancestry DNA, I think 23andMe and Ancestry DNA are the biggest ones for family tree building. Others, some of them don't have that, and you can connect to those people. You can actually send them a message. You can put them in your family tree and stuff like that. And I got hits back on second cousins, third cousins, fourth cousins, fifth cousins, and that's as far as I got. And it just goes, the deeper the number, the more spread out it is. And then they have a list on their family tree of their matches, and it gives you a percentage. There's like, some of my second cousins were 8%, 6%, and it's not all the same percentage. It can be like 4% or 8% for second cousin, but it goes down lower. The percentage goes down lower with the lower connective bloodline. Like a fifth cousin is probably going to be like 1%, 1 or 2%. And it actually, I think I found one of my cousin's sons on there. I'm not sure. I think I haven't seen this child since they were a baby. They're grown up now, and I think it might be them. I'm not sure. You can also, when you're connecting, yeah, you can send messages, and I think it has to be, well, you have to have their okay. So it's not like somebody's going to invade your space. They can send a message, you can decline it. You don't have to, there's no pressure to, oh, you have to answer this person, or, your privacy will be respected, and you can put controls on that also. I haven't connected with anybody. I really don't think I want to right now. Maybe, I don't know, maybe in the future or something. Maybe if I'm researching it more in the detailed, if I want more details, I may do something like that. But there's so many of them, and it's like, no, not today. But you can find out a lot. It's shocking, especially if there's a controversy in your family, if you may find out something you don't want to know. So I would caution you that if you don't want surprises, there's a lot of people who have found out that their father isn't their father, or they're just a lot of family secrets can come out this way. So really think about it if you're sensitive to something like that. But if you want to know in general where you're descended from, I enjoy it. I really like it, and I probably will do more. I'm going to probably order some more of these tests later on and see how far, or if I can break down that number, see if that works. And there's one thing I want to say, that there's always been some rumor of Native American history in our family, and I know so many people in the U.S. are all half Cherokee or something like that, which it was always said that we're part Choctaw and possibly Seminole. And my grandmother told me this story about some Choctaw ancestors that it was a very sad story. The father was upset with the son, and so they moved away. And then later on, the father wanted to reconnect with them, and they had a baby. And so they wanted to name the baby. He wanted the baby to be named after him, or they wanted to name it after him. I can't remember what the deal was. But they had to cross this river to get to where they were going, and they had to swim across it, and they had the baby with them, and they didn't think the water was going to be that deep, but the mother and the baby drowned. And my grandmother told me this story like 30, 40, more than probably 40 years ago. And I was looking on Ancestry DNA probably about 15, not more than 20 years ago. And I found that exact story with the Choctaw connection, exact story. So that's why I was expecting at least maybe 1 to 3% Native American DNA. And I'm a little, these tests aren't exactly, they can actually change. Your percentages can go up and down because not everybody in the world has taken a DNA test. So their data bank is not completely full. So sometimes the percentages and things will go up and down depending on, if they have an influx of people, years go by, and the testing gets more developed. So that was, to me, when I found that story online, I thought that confirmed it, but apparently with this test, there's not a hint of it in here. So, you might be looking at something in a way thinking I'm 75% Irish, and then you turn out that you're 2% or something like that, 2 or 3%, so be prepared for, things you just shocking, or either things that you don't expect, so. Well, have a good day, and I'll try to make more videos. Thank you all for coming to my channel. Thank you so much.